Hello everyone and welcome to another card video. It's preview day at Your Next Stamp and we're using some new goodies. We have this Be Jolly stamp set, Holiday Joy paper pad, and some new vintage holiday gumdrops. So we're going to make a card with this stamp that has the Santa like busting out of a present. And we're stamping him on Neenah 80-pound cardstock with Your Next Stamp black olive ink. And then I wanted to get all of the stamping kind of completed, so I'm using VersaMark with the Merry Christmas sentiment from that set. We're going to white heat emboss this. This is Simon Says Stamp Detail White Embossing Powder and Lawn Fawn black cardstock. I try to be as efficient as possible, especially when I'm in a hurry and I need to do cards like in between other family activities. So I'm trimming down this piece. I ended up actually trimming it down even more than I did right here, but I just wanted to make it like a square or a rectangle. It's a rectangle. So my idea for this image is to make it appear as though he's popping out of the gift. So I'm stamping him on the pattern paper and on some Neenah Desert Storm cardstock. This is going to help me fill in the underside of the wrapping paper that you see kind of folded over, and also behind Santa where you'll see like a box behind him. Anyway, that's my theory behind it, and that's why I stamped it on the pattern paper and the Neenah Desert Storm. So right now, we're just Copic coloring, and like I've said before, human beings are not my forte. Not that I have any excellent Copic coloring skills, but humans are the worst for me. Like, I'm not a very good human person or fictional Santa Claus colorer. So I'm using some warm grays on his beard and skin colors on his face and hands. We've got some reds and cool grays for the white of his suit. And then I also took like a neutral gray to kind of shade the packaging where it's kind of ripped open. I don't know if it did anything, but that's what I did, and I'm just telling you. I also ended up putting like a little bit more like Jelly Roll black glaze pen on his eyeballs, just to make those pop out. And it works for critters, and I say it works really well for this Santa too. His eyes really popped after I used the black Jelly Roll glaze pen. So you always have to be very careful with red because red bleeds. The pigment in those red markers will just get everywhere. So be careful when you're using red Copic markers. Just forewarning. Ask me how I know. So we're using the coordinating die to cut him out. And now here I'm showing, this is the back portion where you can kind of see what's behind Santa. And so we're using this Memento marker to color the edges of this fussy cutted piece of Desert Storm cardstock. And we're putting that behind Santa so that it almost looks like there's a present behind him. I don't know, I didn't know what else to put besides some maybe cardboard box looking thing. So that's what I did. And I'm just using, I think that's glossy accents still in my syringe. So then I also am using the pattern paper to do the underside of those where the wrapping paper is kind of curved up. Little tiny pieces. I'm not even really expelling anything from the syringe. It's just the tip, whatever I can pick up with the tip. So now I'm taking a piece of craft foam and tape runner adhesive, and we're going to pop up the present portion of the card. So I want it to look like a gift. So I'm using the bow from the party dress die set from Your Next Stamp, the largest bow in that set. And I'm just taking pieces of Stampin' Up's real red cardstock because it matches the red from the pattern paper. And I'm making ribbon. I had thought about using real actual ribbon, but my ribbon stash has really gone down the last year or so. I don't use it very often, and I don't have any red ribbon. So this is what I came up with. I just cut strips of it and am placing it as if it were a present, wrapped in ribbon. It's real easy to trim off the excess from your card panel. So this is where my Santa is going to go on, and my sentiment is going to go beneath him. And I also am going to use some new vintage Christmas or vintage holiday gumdrops, just some of the green, because I feel like we had a lot of red going on, so we're going to add some green gumdrops around him. Just because I love those gumdrops, and I don't use them enough, so we used them. That's my card for today. I hope you enjoyed it.
To you, a trick